and I got my son in here with me, and we've figured out ways to kind of mic everything. I'm like a technical dunce. I mean, I've always been. I mean, all the videos I've been doing for for the whole first month and a half of lockdown, and people are, it's been kind of funny too, because I got people messaging me, "Hey, what are you doing to get those sounds?" I'm like, I turn on the iPad. It's just what happens in the room. But now, we've got Dylan's set close mic'd and overheads, and I'm, all kind of stuff. We're going through this program and doing that and the next thing. And, but I've enjoyed just kind of, refining, stuff that I'm doing. And it's kind of clarified my vision of what I wanted to do. Have you experienced that on this little sojourn? Has it been a kind of a timeout where you're just kind of like, yeah, I was thinking of, it's giving you time to kind of reflect on stuff and just say, yeah, that other shit wasn't all that important. I'm just going to do this. Or what do you think?
No. No, I wish I could say that was true. But this is probably the least I've played guitar in my entire life. And
oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's really weird. But I have invested a little bit in upping the video game here at the studio. So I just finished, actually, because it was always in my plan to wire up the studio for full-time permanent video, where if I was producing a record, I could offer to someone footage of their entire session, multi-camera, and blah, blah, blah. So I've set that up now, and I can also stream live with all the cameras, multi-cams, and it's great. So next week, I'm probably going to do my first test on that. But awesome. I feel weird. Everybody's doing these streaming concerts, and it just feels weird asking people to pay when they're all in the same boat we're in at the moment. So I've been actually probably the least active I've ever been on social media during.
Yeah, the money thing is interesting. I mean, I do 2 things a week for Wildwood, and I do 2 things for Fishman. And because it's on behalf of them. I mean, I do my thing, and it's all kind of under the understanding that it's being affiliated with those entities. So it's weird for me to ask for dough. People are like, oh, well, my wife's like, well, it's still, your music, you should maybe put some, and when Dylan plays and he's not, getting separate dough for him. And,
right.
And I've just been weird about it. I did one separate thing where I charge, but it's really, I've been fortunate in the fact that I do have these other things around other than just playing, doing my gig thing and selling CDs and so on and so forth. So I feel kind of bad for asking money, even though it is your artistry. You know what I mean? You're throwing out your tunes, but I just feel weird about it. So, but other people, I totally get it. Their entire livelihood is about touring, and now that's all been taken away for a long period of time. So they do like a weekly thing, and they charge X amount of dough, and I get it, and it seems to be working for a lot of people. How long that will still be of interest to people that they're going to want to contribute, and what effect that will have on down the line when you can actually go out and play again. Yeah. If that will have an effect on how people perceive value, I don't know, but I guess you got to cross that bridge when you come to it.
Why, even though I invested in the gear, why I haven't started it yet, the streaming of gigs, because I've been just hesitant on how to approach it. I think I'm going to dip my toe in the water and maybe do like only ticketed events, like on that Stage It website or something like that, where, hey, this is what it costs. Either you come or you don't. And it's not on YouTube. It's not out there for you either just come watch it or you don't. Also, in a couple weeks, the Baked Potato just built a streaming setup because they're actually like really struggling, which is, it makes sense. But it's scary because, I mean, they've been open 45 years.
Right.
They're on the verge of possibly closing. So
they need to advertise you can get those potatoes to go or something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to the Baked Potato just for the potatoes. Unfortunately, they are amazing, but I mean, it's not a thing really. And so we're going to do a gig there in a couple weeks, but that's more to help them, quite honestly, try to keep the doors open. I mean, because it would be just a disaster if we lost that place.
How about your the taco place we went up? Is it Beer and Taco? Suds? What was it called?
Salsa and Beer.
Salsa and Beer. Hopefully they're doing takeout. Have you been patronizing them during
the line is down the block. Unbelievable.
That's fantastic. You know what? It's been hard. I mean, I wrote a tune called I've Gained a Quarantine because the food has been, I'm going on now 3 weeks with curtailing my sugar, because for the first part of the, I was just getting the generic Captain Crunch. That's when you're bad.
Oh
Is
yeah.
when you get that big jumbo bag of generic Captain Crunch, and just taking the biggest bowl you can find, and just going and
Yep.
just
I've been pretty good with the cooking and feeling okay. Where it's hit me is I'll make Cinnabons or brownies at 4 a.m.
yes, I can dig it.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm on the thing where I'm staying away from the sweets, but I'll eat like an entire watermelon. You know what I mean? I'll just sit down and just cut it up and start feasting like a demon. But hey, you got to eat. It's the bottom line.
You have to. It is.
It is required. Let's talk a little bit about some gear just for the hell of it, because after all, we are guitar players.
Yeah.
And that purple telly creature that you have now, who's that made by? And you did tell me a little something about a potential signature instrument. I don't know what stage that's at, or if you can talk about it, but
Yeah. Okay, so my main telly, the Chapin, the black one, it's a Bill Chapin guitar. He's from Portland, Oregon, and that's been my main guitar going on 15 years, and I love it. As far as signature guitar thing goes, the thing we discussed is real. I actually have the prototype, but it's still something I can't say to the masses.
Right.
And it will be coming out at NAMM, and if NAMM exists,
exactly.
And I'm super excited about that. It's a big deal for me, and but yeah, the main guitar the last 15 years has been this Bill Chapin telly, which is basically a 50 style telly, maple neck, ash body. The only difference is it had a compound radius, but I've refretted it so many times that now it's just 9.5.
Okay.
And the pickups were wound by Bill Chapin. They're custom. There's a titanium bridge. That's a little different than a 50s telly. Right. Other than that, it's pretty stock 50s telly style.
Now, last time I was out there, you played me some delicious morsels from a record you were working on with the big band, and it sounded magnifico. What is the status of that glorious recording?
Also in the air, because I'm working on something special for that. That if it comes to pass would be the best way to release it, and something really exciting. Excellent. But I don't know if it's going to happen, and I also can't talk about that. And
but suffice it to say, exciting things are in the pipeline.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing about having a studio is I am able to work on music all the time. So I've got that record done, which nobody's heard, and except for my friends, and I think people will be shocked when that comes out. I'm not really even telling. I just want it to come out and people go like, whoa, because I'm not really mentioning it. And then I have my next regular record done in the can, more blues-based album. That's the nice thing about the studio is I can always be recording.
You can hammer it out.
Yeah, and before this pandemic, I was inspired, and I was hammering out. So the pandemic has slowed things down for sure.
Yes.
But actually, like next week, some work will resume. People are getting braver. Eric Gales is flying out here on Tuesday.
Oh, he is.
And him and myself and Joe are going to spend a few days writing for his record, which now we'll record in September. We were supposed to have done that already.
Right.
But at least he's coming out, and we're going to write for a few days and, get ready for his record.
Excellent. Interesting. So he's making the journey out there. So there are planes flying.
Have you noticed how few planes are in the sky?
It's ridiculous. It's so weird. When you actually hear one, you think it's like a UFO or something. It's like, what the hell's all that noise? You're like, oh, that's right. There used to be planes everywhere.
Well, I live in the flight path for Burbank, and it's every 10 minutes you see a plane at least, and now it could be hours, and it's just like, wow, this is unbelievable. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy activity. Well, I'm hoping to get out there sooner than later. We gotta figure it out. But it would be great. I mean, if you could just get a test that said, I mean, it's not an absolute, sure thing, but at least I think it would make people far less uptight about traveling. You could just take a test to see if you even had it. You know, we all, you know, I bet there's a bunch of us that had very mild reactions or whatever the case may be that have had it. And then you'd be like, okay, it looks like I've had it. I'm going out to California. I'm doing, you know what I mean? You'd be far, people wouldn't be uptight to be around you. You wouldn't be uptight going places. So, boy, that'll really loosen things up when that happens.
You have to get approved to get the, like my son, he had his birthday, not his birthday, but he had his physical at his, pediatrician, but they gave him the antibody test, but they had to like put in to get approved to give him the antibody test. And he had them. He had so he's had it. You know what I mean?
No kidding. Like, so that means you and your wife have probably had it.
Yeah, but I've had absolutely no symptoms. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I'm not a guy who normally gets sick, so maybe I have good antibodies. I don't know. I think it's all the Coca-Cola that I drink. It just kills everything inside of me. But at least that's what
I did a trip to Boston right before everything. It was right as things were starting to kind of happen. Nothing had really shut down yet. And I did a trip to Boston, and as I was flying back, I was sitting in the very last row and the air conditioner was just on me. And I was like, well, if it was in here, I'm going to have it.
Yeah.
And when I got back, I had a little bit of like a tight chest thing, but I have asthma every now and again from animals, and I was with my cats every now and again I react. So I have no idea if I had it. You know what I mean? Who the hell knows? It would just be so nice to be able to get that antibody test to say, yep, we're good. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do?
Yeah, but I mean, then on the other hand, it's like, let's say you feel comfortable and it's time to go for you.
Right.
Where do you go? You got to convince everybody else you got to do something with, or
exactly.
What if the state you need to go to is closed for business?
Right.
Yeah. Or the country.
Or let's say we get over to the UK in October and November, and the second wave happens, and they say, "Yeah, we're shutting flights down again." And then next thing you know, we'll be eating shepherd's pie for 3 months as we're sequestered in the UK.
Yeah, well, I just booked a festival in Australia for next year, a big one that I've been working on, with the guy that I work over there for a couple years. But it's like everyone I talk to there says they have no clue if it will actually happen, or if it'll happen but only be local artists or any of that.
Right.
But it's like, what am I supposed to do? Just not book anything forever?
Right. You got to book it and see what happens. It's bizarre. And then the other thing is too, is like I had a offer come in 2 days ago, and it was for less money than usual. It was with this other artist. So we're kind of doing this package thing, and it was kind of for this weird festival. And I'm like, are we supposed to take less money now? Because you know what I mean? It's like, at what point do you go, well, yeah, people are going to be hurting so bad that the money's going to go down. It's like, it's going to be interesting to just kind of feel all this stuff out and figure out what the deal is.
It's a brave new world. I mean, I'm reading all the, I'm a big sports guy, and like looking at what's going on with baseball, because their season hasn't started yet, but all the arguing between the owners and the players, because the players want to get paid their normal contract, and the owners are like, well, yeah, but we're going to play in front of empty houses and make no money. How can we pay you your normal contract? And I see both sides of the equation.
Yep. Well, you know what, though? It's like, a few million out of a multi-million-dollar contract still sounds pretty good to me. But then again, I don't have their overhead.
To me, the players are going to be the ones that are going to have to give in, because if I'm an owner, even if I'm a billionaire, why do I want to lose $1 million every time we take the field? I'm under no obligation to bring baseball back just to lose money,
True. Yeah. Who knows?
As much as I wish they would, because I'm bored out of my mind.
Well, there's always Netflix. Oh my God. Every night we're arguing about what to watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
I do my little live streams in the afternoon. There's always like an hour sound check trying to get stuff figured out. Then we play the thing, and then afterwards make some kind of feast. And then we all sit in the other room. And I got three of my four kids are still at home here. And then my wife trying to argue to figure out what to watch granted, these are first world problems. Don't give me
majorly, yeah.
But but they're eating me out of house and home. I got to be honest with you. It's like, even, and then at first, when the quarantine started, you're like, well, you should really have 2 weeks worth of food in the house. Like, where am I supposed to put 2 weeks worth of food? The modern house is not, you don't have enough freezer space and refrigerator space. We got a freezer in the basement. When you got 6 people, all my size, feasting like warriors of the night.
Yeah.
It's difficult to have that amount of food in the home. But yeah, and then you'd cook a bunch of stuff and there'd be like leftovers. And then someone in the night, a certain Dylan perhaps, comes into the refrigerator and just, my nickname for him is the nightcomer, because he comes in the night and he empties out the refrigerator. So
yeah. And then the real problem is that you went to the store that week and the only toilet paper was single ply. And it's
exactly.
Like, that's what I'm in right now. Is that my son's like, what is this crap? You've never seen single ply toilet paper in his life, Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I always should say you should try the toilet paper in Germany. That used to be my thing. I used to say is like, sometimes people don't have the friendliest looks on their face when you're walking down the street in Germany, and the reason is not because they're not friendly people. It's because of the toilet paper.
Yeah. I tried to explain to my wife one time the toilets with the ledge.
Oh yeah. The meat on a shelf.
Yeah, there's a shelf, so it catches it.
Yeah.
And you have to smell it the whole time.
That's right. Examine your artistry.
That's one. The shelf in the toilet and the shower that doesn't have any chance of stopping the water from flooding the bathroom.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Piece of glass like, this big.
Am I doing this wrong?
They take showers differently, or is it the goal to get the water outside of the shower?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Never a dull moment on the European excursions.
Yep.
But it sounds pretty good right about now. I'd love to get back over there and cause some trouble. But
I'm supposed to be there right now.
Good God Almighty!
I had 7 weeks straight. I'm in the middle of right now. If I was there. 5.5 weeks of touring and 2 weeks of teaching in Italy. That, of course, that was the first thing to get canceled. But yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be in the middle of right now.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that our fall extravaganza is going to happen, because that'll be awesome.
I hope so, because I was last in the UK last February, and I purposely told Dudley, hey, instead of making it the beginning of the year, spring, winter, again, let's wait until that back half of next year. So it's been 18 months. We build up even more hype. I'll have the next record, the secret record, blah, blah, blah. It'll be great. So now if it gets canceled, then it'll just be, it'll be 2+ years since I've been to the UK.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, old Dudley, he's going, bless his heart, his posts are hysterical. I'm going great. He's got young kids.
He's got very young kids, yeah. And a giant dog. I loved how productive he was the first 10 days. It was like,
oh, yeah.
Slow down, bro. Slow down.
You're going to burn out. Oh, he's a character.
I love him, though. Love him.
He's a great dude. Well, listen, we have covered all of our subjects. An hour has passed. It's been an absolute joy. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Our Wildwood at home, as I guess we're calling this.
I've never been to Wildwood.
What's that now? You've never been?
I've never been to Wildwood Guitars.
We'll have to rectify that.
I need to go.
I want to do kind of a, we've talked about doing some gigs out there and maybe doing a thing where I bring different people in and do stuff. And we definitely have to make that happen. They just moved into a new location, which is awesome. Because prior to that, they were in this place in downtown Louisville, Colorado. Which was cool, but it was kind of a smaller, the showroom was, people walk in, they're like, you're kidding me, this is it? It's like, yeah, you don't realize that this entire building has little doorways and there's little, there's 4,000 guitars lurking behind the walls, right?
Yeah.
So now it's all in one place where it's a really tasteful showroom in different rooms where you can check stuff out. And then in the back is where all the warehouse stuff is, and you can kind of see it, but it's really, really cool. So
yeah, I want to see it.
It shall be done.
I also want to note that you're wearing Howlin' Wolf and I'm wearing Barry White.
We've chosen well.
We've done all right.
All right, my friend. Well, it's a pleasure. Stay safe, as they say, and we'll hopefully see you sooner than later.
I hope so, my friend. I hope so.
Excellent. All right, take care, Josh. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye.